Sometimes a separation isn't the end, it's preparation. God often allows space between two people to bring growth, clarity, and healing. If you've been praying, waiting, and still feel a strong pull towards someone, there's a chance that God is getting ready to reconnect you. This kind of reconnection doesn't happen out of nowhere. It begins with quiet changes, small confirmations, and moments that remind you that God is still in control. When God is behind the reconnection, it won't be rushed or forced. It will come with peace, not confusion. You'll begin to see signs that the other person is changing, just like you've been changing. You may come across reminders of them, have dreams that feel meaningful, or sense a softening in your own heart. God uses these moments to show you He's working behind the scenes, setting the stage for a better and stronger connection. If you've been wondering whether the separation was permanent, watch for the signs. God always works with purpose, and if He's getting ready to reconnect you with someone, it will be clear, peaceful, and meant to bring both of you closer to Him. One you keep seeing or hearing their name repeatedly. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. When God is getting ready to reconnect you with someone, one of the ways He prepares your heart is through repetition. You might begin to hear their name in conversations, see it in random places, or come across it more than usual. This doesn't always mean you're thinking too much. It can be God placing a gentle awareness in your spirit. Each time it happens, you may pause and ask yourself why it stands out so strongly. That consistent repetition may not be something to brush off. It could be God's way of confirming the connection still has purpose in time that hasn't yet come to pass. Instead of assuming it's just your imagination, stop and pray when you notice it. Ask God for wisdom and timing. If He is the one bringing the name back around again and again, He's likely preparing something in both hearts that you can't yet see with your eyes. 2, you begin to see what went wrong with clarity. Proverbs 2 verse 6, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from His mouth come knowledge and understanding." When God is preparing you for reconnection, He gives you a clearer view of the past. You begin to understand where things broke down, not just from their side, but also your own. Instead of blaming, your heart shifts toward learning and growth. This clarity isn't to make you feel guilty or ashamed. It's so you can step into the next season with more wisdom and grace. When God reveals these things, it's a sign He trusts that you're ready to receive and apply the lessons He's taught you. Seeing the truth without emotional confusion means your heart is in a healthier place. You're no longer stuck in regret. You're ready to walk in wisdom if God gives you a second chance to rebuild that connection. 3, you no longer feel the urge to force things. Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." One clear sign that God is preparing you for reconnection is when your heart stops striving. You don't feel the need to push, chase, or force anything to happen. Instead, you rest in God's timing, trusting that if it's meant to return, it will. This kind of stillness doesn't mean giving up. It means your spirit is no longer anxious about it. You've laid it down at God's feet, and you believe that He knows exactly what to do with it and when. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you give space for God to move. His plans work best when you surrender your need to fix or rush the situation. That peace in letting go is a strong signal that He is working behind the scenes. 4, you're at peace whether it happens or not. Isaiah 26:3, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you." One of the biggest shifts that happens when God is preparing you is the ability to feel peace no matter the outcome. You aren't clinging to the idea of reconnection with desperation. Instead, you found comfort in trusting God either way. This type of peace shows that you've grown. You're not living in fear of what you'll lose. You're standing in faith about what God will do. Even if it doesn't happen how you imagined, your heart is calm because you know God is always right. You've placed the situation fully in God's hands, and you're not losing sleep over it. You've learned that trusting God includes being okay with His yes and His no. That's when you know your peace comes from Him, not the outcome. 5. You're more spiritually and emotionally stable. James 1:4. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. God won't bring reconnection if your heart is still unstable. One of the signs that you're being prepared is when your emotions are no longer controlling your reactions. You can handle waiting without anger or fear because you've allowed patience to shape you. Spiritual maturity means you're not looking for someone to fill a void. You've grown closer to God and found wholeness in Him first. Your strength comes from within now, not from someone else validating your worth. When reconnection is part of God's plan, He'll want both people to be emotionally strong. If you feel more steady than before, it's a sign He's been working on you for something better. God doesn't bring people back into broken places. He reconnects them in healed ones. 6. You've released the relationship to God completely. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Letting go of control is one of the hardest but most powerful signs that God is doing something new. When you can honestly say that you've given it to God without trying to make it work yourself, you're stepping into a place of trust. Releasing it means you no longer pray from a place of panic. Instead, you surrender it in peace and walk forward knowing that God sees what you don't. It's no longer your burden to carry. That kind of trust clears the way for God to act. When you're not blocking His movement with your fears, He has the room to move things into place. Releasing it doesn't mean it's over. It means you're willing to let God lead. 7. God is using time to heal both of you. Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Time apart is often God's tool for healing. If you're feeling stronger and more focused after being separated, it may be because God is preparing you both for something more meaningful. He never wastes time, it's always part of His design. You may not have realized how much growth was needed until you stepped away from the situation. That space created clarity, and now you're seeing the changes in yourself and possibly in them too. Healing takes time, and God knows exactly how long it takes. When the right time comes, what once felt broken can be made beautiful again. If you're noticing real progress and patience, it could be a sign that God is setting things up for a healthier reconnection. Trust that He knows the right timing. 8. You're able to love them again without conditions. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Unconditional love is a strong sign of healing. When you can think about them without needing them to be perfect and still wish them well, your heart has been changed by God. You're no longer loving from a place of pain, but from a place of grace. This doesn't mean you forget what happened or ignore boundaries. It means your love is no longer based on what they did or didn't do. You love from a clean heart, free from bitterness and pride, and that's a love God can use. When your love is patient, hopeful, and enduring, it reflects the kind of love God gives us. If you're able to love like that, you're not just ready for reconnection, you're ready to love the way God intended. That's a powerful shift. If the content inspired you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Pure Inspirational. Be blessed.